The storm was waiting for us. Our helicopter cut through the freezing winds, engines screaming against the turbulence as we descended onto the landing pad outside Blacksite 19, a place that was never meant to be found, let alone breached. Through the frost-coated window, I could see it. A monolith of reinforced concrete and steel, half buried beneath the snowdrifts, built to contain supernatural entities that shouldn't exist. A place that was supposed to be secure until now. I adjusted my rifle strap and glanced at my squad. Strike 7. 7 men. Sergeant First Class Jonah Briggs, me, team leader. Staff Sergeant Carter Boone, second in command, smart mouth, smarter instincts. Sergeant Henry Ortiz, quiet, methodical, the team's best tracker. Sergeant Evan Brooks, heavy gunner. Didn't believe in reloading. Corporal Alan West, communications specialist, tech genius. Corporal Reese Daniels, fastest hands in a firefight. Corporal Jake Holloway, rookie, last-minute replacement. We weren't here for a rescue. We were here to contain the breach. That meant neutralizing every last entity inside Blacksite 19. And by neutralizing, I mean erasing. The facility was dead quiet. No perimeter guards. No movement. That wasn't right. Even with a breach, somebody should have been here. I activated my comm. Control, this is Strike 7. We're on site. No contact. Static. Boone exhaled hard. I don't like this man. None of us do. Keep moving. We advanced toward the main blast doors. Thick steel, reinforced, designed to keep whatever was inside from getting out. The control panel was fried, melted from the inside. Ortiz knelt beside it. Sabotage. Someone opened this on purpose. That confirmed what we already knew. This wasn't an escape. It was a slaughter. I signaled to West. Override? He shook his head. Not a chance. This was permanent. I clenched my jaw. We weren't getting out the way we came in. The secondary entrance was through the personnel wing. We moved, boots crunching against ice, and reached the side access hatch. The moment I touched it, I knew something was wrong. The metal was warm. The hatch creaked open, revealing darkness. I switched to night vision. The corridor stretched ahead. White walls, sterile, too clean. No bodies, no signs of a fight, just silence. We moved in, tight formation, weapons up. Boone took point, sweeping his rifle across the hall. Ortiz tapped his shoulder and pointed. Blood, a single streak across the floor, leading deeper in. Still fresh. Brooks exhaled. Where the hell is everyone? A second later, the emergency lights flickered on, and I saw it. Corporal Jake Holloway was the first to find the body. He froze mid-step, staring at the security guard slumped against the wall. At first, I thought he was just sitting there. Then, I saw his face. His mouth was peeled open, stretched into an unnatural grin, held in place by rusted hooks. His eyes were gone. His uniform was soaked in dark, clotted blood, but his arms were still posed neatly in his lap, like someone had placed him there. I stepped forward, rifle trained. Boone whispered, "Jesus Christ." Ortiz knelt beside the body, checked the pulse, shook his head. I exhaled through my teeth. "Stay sharp. We keep moving." Holloway hesitated. "We're just gonna walk past that, like that's normal." I didn't look at him. Welcome to the job. We pushed deeper. Corridors stretched in every direction. The further we went, the worse it got. The blood wasn't random. It was dragged, long streaks leading toward the lower levels. But no bodies, no gunfire damage, just emptiness. We reached Central Command, the heart of the facility. Massive reinforced doors, thick enough to withstand an explosion. The doors were open. West worked fast, tapping into the main console. Some of the systems were still online. He pulled up the last recorded security feed. We gathered around the monitor, watching the last 10 minutes before the breach. The guards on routine patrol, nothing unusual. Then, the hallway lights flicker. A cell door opens on its own. The guards hesitate. Too late. Something moves, a blur of motion. Fast, too fast. The screen distorts, glitches. For half a second, a shape appears. Tall, skin stretched thin, mouth grinning wide. They scream. Then the footage cuts out. Boone whispered, "What the fuck was that?" No one answered because we didn't know. The radio crackled. I turned to West. "Did you patch comms back in?" He frowned. "No." Static hissed through our headsets. A broken transmission. Then a voice. Not a scream, not a distress call. A whisper. "You're too late." The voice was flat, emotionless, like someone repeating a phrase they had learned but didn't understand. Boone tensed. "Who the fuck is that?" I didn't answer, because I knew exactly where I had heard that voice before. I turned my head, just slightly, back toward the hallway, toward the dead guard. My stomach twisted. Ortiz whispered, "That's impossible." Then, the lights cut out. Total darkness, silence, and then, just beyond our flashlights, something moved. Blacksite 19 was never quiet. Even before the breach, there was always something humming in the background. Ventilation systems, automated doors, the buzz of fluorescent lights overhead. Now there was nothing. No power, no backup generators, just silence. I tightened my grip on my rifle. The NVGs should have activated automatically when the lights failed, but my HUD was nothing but static. West cursed. My comms just fried. Not a coincidence. Ortiz clicked his tack light on. A sharp beam cut through the black. The light barely reached 5 feet ahead before the shadow swallowed it. Something clicked in the distance, a sound like teeth tapping against metal. Boone whispered, "That wasn't a fucking glitch, was it?" I didn't answer. I switched to IR mode. My visor flickered, then glitched again. For half a second, I saw a tall, skeletal shape standing in the doorway. Then the screen cut to black. Static hissed in my earpiece. And over the radio, the voice whispered again, "Run! Move!" I snapped. We weren't staying here. We pushed out of Central Command, weapons up, advancing toward the armory. Boone and Ortiz held rear security, moving fast but calculated. We knew better than to panic. I pressed my comms. "Charlie team, report." Nothing. I tried again. "Bravo team, do you copy?" Then soft static and a voice. "Something's in here with us." It was Daniels, one of Charlie team. His voice was low, shaking, then gunfire. A quick burst, 3 rounds, followed by screaming. Then silence. West flinched. That was them. That was fucking them. I tried again. "Charlie team, report." Nothing. I exhaled sharply. We need to move faster. We pushed toward the armory corridor. The floor was slick. Ortiz knelt, pressing his glove into the liquid. It smeared dark across his fingertips. Not fresh, but not old either. And then I saw the drag marks, leading into the dark. Boone clenched his jaw. Fucking hell. We moved forward, slow, careful. The smell of copper and rot thick in the air. We turned the next corner and found the first body. It was Daniels, slumped against the wall. At first I thought he was alive. His chest still rose and fell, shallow breaths rattling in his throat. Then I saw his neck. His head was barely attached. His skin was peeled back, muscles exposed. His jaw unhinged like something had tried to climb inside him. Boone muttered, "Jesus Christ." Daniel's eyes twitched toward us. A garbled, choking sound escaped his throat. West stepped forward. "He's still." Daniel's mouth snapped open, his jaw dislocated fully, stretching wider than humanly possible. And he laughed, a wet, choking sound, too deep, too inhuman. Then he lunged. Instinct took over. I fired first. The round punched through Daniel's skull, splattering black fluid against the corridor wall. His body didn't drop immediately. It staggered like a puppet with its strings cut, limbs twitching unnaturally. Then, slowly, it collapsed. West's breathing was ragged. That wasn't him anymore. Ortiz checked the corridor behind us. "We need to keep moving." I nodded. "We get to the armory, then we regroup with Bravo." Boone exhaled sharply. if they're still alive. No one argued. Because we weren't sure anymore, we pressed forward, deeper into the facility. The lights flickered for a half second, and that's when I saw them. Not Daniels, not the thing inside him, something else. At the edge of my vision, just beyond the reach of the emergency lights, a row of figures standing perfectly still, not moving, not breathing, but watching. My throat locked, then the lights cut out again. And when they came back on, they were closer. My heart slammed into my rib cage. The lights flickered again, briefly, just long enough for me to register the row of dark, motionless shapes edging closer. Each flash brought them nearer, the corridor shrinking around us. Boone snapped up his rifle, scanning the hallway. Did anyone else see that? I swallowed hard. Yeah, I saw it. Ortiz moved behind us, weapon raised. They're pushing us deeper. This isn't random. He was right. We weren't being attacked directly. We were being herded. We moved fast. No more careful footsteps. We sprinted through twisting corridors, following the faded wall markings toward the armory. West was breathing heavily, lagging behind. I grabbed him by the vest. Stay tight. Don't fucking fall back. He nodded sharply, eyes wide. He'd seen what happened to Daniels. Ahead, Boone shouted, "Armory doors up!" We closed in on the heavy steel blast door, half open, jammed at a crooked angle. The keypad flickered, fried like every other security panel we'd passed. Ortiz shoved his shoulder against the door, pushing just enough space to slip inside. We filed in one by one. Ortiz came last, eyes fixed behind him as he moved backward, rifle ready. When we stepped inside, Boone's breath hitched. God damn it. Bravo team had made it here first, but they didn't survive. Their bodies were scattered around the room. Sergeant Brooks lay closest, his heavy machine gun still gripped tight, muzzle smoking from recent fire. His eyes stared blankly at the ceiling, a deep gash splitting his throat wide open. West stumbled backward, face pale. Fuck, they got Bravo too. Ortiz kneeled, checking Brooks' wounds. Claws, something tore through body armor like paper. I moved slowly, inspecting the other bodies. Reese Daniels, Corporal Allen West's closest friend, now slumped against the weapons rack, his chest torn open. I glanced at West. He stared at his friend's body, shaking. Ortiz stood, stepping close to me. There's no blood spatter on the walls, no shell casings besides Brooks. They didn't even fight back. Boone lowered his weapon slowly. This wasn't a fight, it was an execution. I knelt by Brooks' body, grabbing his ammo pouches. Ammo was running thin. Take whatever you can. We can't stay here long. West hesitated, eyes locked on Daniel's mutilated corpse. His voice shook. They just let us find them like this. Why? My gut twisted because deep down I knew the answer. They want us scared. Ortiz stiffened suddenly. Did you hear that? Silence fell heavy, oppressive. Then I heard it too. A soft, wet breathing coming from the darkest corner of the armory. Slowly, we turned our flashlights toward the sound. At first, nothing, just blackness. Then, two eyes opened, burning amber in the shadows, and a voice whispered back, cold, amused, "Run." The creature burst forward, impossibly fast, massive, fur-covered muscle rippling beneath its shredded, blood-stained skin. Werewolf. Before I could react, Boone screamed, lifted clear off his feet as massive jaws sank into his shoulder, tearing him open. Blood sprayed hot against my face. Ortiz opened fire instantly, rounds punching through the creature's chest. It barely flinched. It threw Boone aside, slamming him against the wall. He crumpled, lifeless. Ortiz shouted, reloading desperately. Move now. West froze, panic locked in his eyes. The creature lunged toward him. I tackled West aside just as claws tore through the air where he'd stood, gouging metal from the armory wall. We scrambled backward, firing blindly. The creature vanished into the shadows again, laughter echoing deep and guttural. Ortiz hauled Boone's body toward the door, but it was too late. He shook his head. He's gone. I grabbed Ortiz's shoulder, voice sharp. Leave him. We have to fucking go. We burst back into the corridor, boots slipping on the slick tiles, racing toward anywhere but here. Ortiz stopped suddenly, breath ragged. This hallway wasn't here before. I stared ahead. He was right. The facility was changing. Corridors we'd cleared now twisted into unknown places. The lights flickered again, briefly illuminating rows of figures standing silently, watching from the edges of vision. Their faces stretched into wide, unnatural smiles. Skinwalkers. They didn't move yet, just stared, patient, expectant. West stumbled forward, muttering to himself. They're everywhere. They're fucking everywhere. Ortiz glanced at me, voice low and urgent. They're funneling us somewhere specific. We're being pushed deeper. I swallowed the bile rising in my throat. Then we break through. Keep going. We reached a blast door labeled Containment Level 5. Ortiz hesitated, eyes uncertain. Captain, we weren't supposed to go this deep. Level 5 was sealed permanently. Behind us, distant footsteps approached. Patient, deliberate. We had no choice. I punched the override, heart hammering. The door hissed open, revealing darkness beyond, and a cold, foul wind rushed out, like breath held for decades, finally released. Ortiz stared into the black. What the hell is down there? West's voice broke, thin with panic. Death. We stepped inside. The doors slammed shut behind us, sealing us in darkness. And the whispers began again, this time echoing all around, close enough to touch. "You're exactly where we want you." The blast doors sealed shut behind us with a metallic boom. Darkness pressed down hard, an oppressive weight, as thick as liquid tar. The air was heavy, suffocating, and tinged with the stench of decay. I activated my tack light, slicing a thin beam through the blackness, but it barely penetrated the shadows ahead. Ortiz moved in step beside me, rifle raised. His voice was low, almost lost beneath our breathing. "Captain, we shouldn't be down here." He was right. Containment Level 5 had been permanently sealed years ago, even before the breach. It was never part of the mission. It was off limits, classified at the highest levels. But something had herded us here, something that wanted us exactly where we stood. Wes stumbled behind, his flashlight jittering wildly as panic took hold. "We're fucked. We're fucking trapped in here." I turned, grabbing his vest. "Get it together, soldier. We're not dead yet." He nodded, fighting to steady himself, eyes wide with fear. "Yet," he whispered, almost to himself. We moved forward slowly. Our boots echoed softly on metal grating, the sound swallowed by the darkness around us. My flashlight beam passed over heavy glass-walled containment cells lining each side of the corridor. Each cell was reinforced, sealed with hydraulic locks, designed to hold the uncontainable. Everyone was empty. Ortiz moved close, voice edged with tension. "They let everything out. Whatever was here, it's already free." I studied the nearest cell, stepping closer. Scratches scored the thick, transparent surface from the inside, frantic marks left by something desperate to escape. Something massive, something furious. Wes stepped back, breath shallow, voice shaking. "Jesus Christ, look at that." I followed his gaze. The cell beside me had a crude message smeared across the glass in blood. "They are free. You are not." Ortiz raised his rifle, scanning the corridor. Who wrote that? My jaw tightened. Someone who didn't make it out. The corridor narrowed, funneling us forward. I could feel eyes on us, invisible but relentless, following our every move from beyond the darkened cells. My comms buzzed softly in my ear. Garbled whispers, fragments of dead men's voices echoing over static. At the far end of the corridor stood a massive reinforced security door, thicker and heavier than anything we'd encountered before. Red emergency lights flickered above it. Ortiz glanced back at me, voice cautious. "Captain, this is maximum security. Whatever was locked behind that door was never supposed to see daylight again." I stepped forward, dread pooling cold in my gut. I placed my hand against the door, warm again, just like before. "It's already open." West took a shaky breath. "What do you mean, already open?" "It's sealed tight." I pressed lightly, and the massive door swung inward silently. No locks, no resistance, just darkness, waiting. Ortiz cursed softly, voice trembling. We're being invited in. Inside was a cavernous chamber, its ceiling lost to shadow. Rusted equipment lay scattered across the floor. Ancient machinery hummed softly, wires trailing into the darkness like arteries. At the room's center stood a containment unit, huge cylindrical reinforced glass cracked from the inside, the interior smeared in blood. Ortiz stepped forward, staring into the shattered cell, his voice barely audible. Whatever was here, it's out now. A voice spoke from the shadows, deep and smooth. Correct. We spun instantly, weapons trained. A figure emerged slowly, stepping calmly into the dim emergency lights. A man, or at least something wearing a man's shape. Tall, emaciated, wearing a tattered uniform identical to our own. Pale skin stretched taut over sharp bones, eyes completely black. Its mouth curved into a polite, chilling smile. It spread its arms, mockingly welcoming. "Hello, Captain. We've been waiting." I tightened my grip, finger brushing the trigger. "Who the hell are you?" It tilted its head, amused. "We are Legion, but your files called us skinwalkers." West took a shaking step back. "You let the others out. You planned this." It smiled wider, teeth too numerous and sharp. "No, we merely followed the path laid before us. Your superiors brought us here, Captain. They imprisoned us, studied us, fed us, until we grew strong enough." I felt my jaw tighten. "Fed you?" It stepped forward smoothly. "We feed on fear, on flesh, on blood. They brought us bodies at first, prisoners, criminals. When they ran out, they sent you." Ortiz's voice shook. "You're lying." The skinwalker tilted its head gently. "Check your comms. Call your control. See who answers." West raised his radio, hands trembling. "Control? This is Strike 7. Request an immediate extraction." Silence. Then static. Then a familiar voice responded calmly. Too calm. "Negative. Strike 7. Containment incomplete. You're exactly where you're supposed to be." My stomach twisted violently. The skinwalker laughed softly. "You see? You were never sent here to stop us. You were sent here as tribute, to feed us, to set us free." A low growl filled the chamber. We spun around, weapons up. From the shadows, the enormous werewolf stepped forward, blood dripping from its maw. Behind it, slender shapes emerged. Wendigos, their pale forms gaunt and hungry, eyes burning red. The air filled with whispers as more skinwalkers melted into view, surrounding us on all sides. Ortiz moved close, back to back, rifle steady. "Captain, orders?" I met his gaze briefly. We fight. Don't go down easy. West raised his weapon, eyes narrowed, fear finally replaced with grim determination. Fuck it. Let's make them pay for it. The skinwalker spread its arms again, welcoming us to our deaths. We wouldn't have it any other way. Then they surged forward as one, a tidal wave of teeth and claws and screaming nightmares. Gunfire exploded around us, lighting up the chamber in flashes of muzzle flare. The last stand had begun. Gunfire thundered through the darkness, muzzle flashes illuminating horrors moving in every shadow. Ortiz shouted beside me, disciplined bursts ripping into pale, hungry shapes that surged closer. West screamed defiance, his rifle muzzle glowing hot as he fired, fighting desperately. But we were drowning in nightmares. The werewolf lunged first, massive claws tearing into West, lifting him off his feet. West's rifle fired wildly as the beast sank jaws into his neck. Blood sprayed, his scream cut short as the creature shook him violently, tossing his broken body aside. Ortiz pivoted, firing point blank into the creature's head, rounds punching deep, but the beast barely staggered, laughing, deep, mocking laughter that echoed through the chamber. Ortiz shouted, reloading desperately, "Captain, there's no way out." He was right. But we weren't dead yet. I grabbed a fallen grenade from Brooks's stolen pouch, pulling the pin. "Cover!" Ortiz dove aside as I hurled it. The explosion rocked the chamber, shrapnel tearing into the werewolf. It stumbled backward, roaring in pain, flesh shredded, but already regenerating. We sprinted toward the containment room's exit, gunfire covering our escape. Behind us, Wendigos screeched, surging forward through smoke and debris. Ortiz ran ahead, firing back desperately. He turned the corner into the corridor and stopped dead, staring into the darkness. I caught up, breathing raggedly. "Ortiz." Then I saw it. The skinwalker stood waiting, smiling gently, calmly. It wore Boone's face perfectly, mimicking even the tired lines around his eyes. Ortiz hesitated, just a split second. "Boone?" The skinwalker's grin widened impossibly, almost. Then it lunged. Ortiz's scream was short, brutal, final. I turned, rifle raised, but the hallway was empty again, just shadows and blood. Ortiz was gone, vanished entirely, leaving only his weapon lying on the floor. My radio crackled softly. "Captain Briggs?" It was Ortiz's voice, calm and steady, as if nothing had happened. My gut twisted violently. "You're dead." Ortiz laughed gently through the comm. "We're all dead down here, Captain. Some of us just don't know it yet." I ripped the radio from my ear, tossing it aside, sprinting blindly into the facility's shifting maze. Every hallway twisted, turning me deeper into Blacksite 19. The whispers grew louder, mocking, familiar voices echoing laughter, screams, memories of my team's last moments, replayed again and again, distorted and cruel. Then, suddenly, I saw it. An elevator shaft, emergency lights flickering weakly, the way out. I slammed the elevator's emergency override, the shaft doors grinding open painfully slow. The creature's voices echoed behind me, footsteps approaching, patient, deliberate. They weren't chasing me. They didn't have to. The elevator finally opened. I stepped inside, activating the surface override. The doors slid closed just as glowing amber eyes appeared in the corridor, watching calmly as I rose toward the surface. I was alone now. Everyone else was gone. I stumbled out into freezing air, gasping desperately, lungs burning with relief. Snow whipped across the empty helipad as headlights flickered to life in the distance. 2 Humvees racing toward me, reinforcements late, but finally here. I dropped to my knees, exhausted, bloody, weapon clutched uselessly. Soldiers rushed toward me, medics pulling me upright, shouting questions I couldn't answer. They hurried me toward safety, wrapping me in thermal blankets, checking vitals, reassuring me I'd made it. But something felt wrong, hollow. A medic leaned close, shining a flashlight into my eyes. "Captain Briggs, can you hear me?" I nodded numbly. He lowered the flashlight slowly. "How many survived?" I stared at him, chest aching. "No one, just me. My team is gone." He exchanged a glance with his teammate, hesitation in his eyes. "Captain, you were deployed alone." My gut clenched, confusion bleeding into panic. "No, there were 7 of us." He paused. "Sir, your file says solo deployment. No record of any team." My breath caught. "What?" The medic's voice softened cautiously. "You entered Blacksite 19 alone. That's what command says. That's what the logs say." I stared past him, mind unraveling. Then whose blood am I covered in? Hours later, I sat alone in a sterile quarantine room, fluorescent lights humming softly overhead. White walls, observation glass, cameras in every corner watching silently. A speaker clicked softly. "Captain Briggs, do you understand what happened at Blacksite 19? I looked up slowly. They were waiting for us. Silence, then a different voice, calm, familiar. "Captain Briggs, we were always waiting for you." My blood ran cold. I glanced at the observation glass. My reflection stared back, pale, exhausted. But my reflection wasn't mirroring my movements anymore. It stood still, smiling gently, eyes black, mouth too wide. Boone's smile, Ortiz's eyes, West's fear. The reflection tilted its head slowly, calmly. "You're exactly where you belong now." My throat closed. I stood, backing away from the mirror, heart racing. This isn't real. My reflection stepped closer, pressing hands to the glass from inside. It doesn't matter what's real anymore. All that matters is that we're free now.